Hi guys. So today we will talk about the different application of blockchain in the music industry. We will give you an overview of what have been changed in the last year. I'm Filippo. I'm co-founder of LIR, that is a startup between blockchain and music. Here there is Lorenzo, who is our art director and co-founder at LIR, and Gianmaria, who is the CEO at LIR. So let's start with the main problem in the music industry, because obviously a project must start in order to solve some problems. The first one, and the most relevant one of the most relevant one, is the fact that there is a low remuneration from streaming platform. Indeed, most of the artists rely on live events in order to survive, and even considering prominent artists, just a small slice of their earnings comes from streaming platforms. The second one is related to the oversaturation of the market. Each day there are more than 120,000 new songs that are being uploaded to streaming platform, and it's really hard to stand out and get the visibility. Another one is related to the unlicensed content. There exist many mashup remixes that could not be published to streaming platform due to IP and copyrights. And there are usually never-ending negotiation in order to have those. And the last one is the never-dying piracy. Streaming platform just partially solved it. Consider that yearly the music industry loses $12 billion, while the streaming platforms are generating just $17 billion. So this is definitely still a huge problem. This is a snapshot of what was the situation at the end of December 23. These are the different on-chain music landscape. There are different categories here. And now we will see what have been changed in the last year. We will talk you just about marketplace, royalties, and streaming category, because we are the one in which we are a little bit more expert and are most relevant for us. So let's start with royalties. Usually here the objective of these platforms is the fact to give the possibility to user to buy the share of a song and earn some money from their investment. The most important platform 1 year ago was Royal. That was a platform selling artist song rights for NFTs. They were able to get $50 million in funding. They were able to get prominent artists on their platform. Here, for example, there is Nas. But if you go on their website right now, this is what you get. Royal right now is a platform for registering AI-generated music on chain. So they completely pivoted. And personally, like you also talked in the panel before about it, personally, I think one of the facts from a user perspective side was that was not really convenient for user to purchase those rights. Usually, this is mostly related to the fact that there is a low remuneration for streaming platform. There exist other platforms that are trying to, that have the main objective related to royalties. Another was Opulus, for example, who decided to pivot too. The next category are streaming platforms. Here, the objective is to revolutionize how streaming platform works, changing the monetization. The most important one 1 year ago was Audius, and is still the most relevant one. And here, user can listen for music for free. And there is a platform-native tokens that they can earn or can purchase. And usually they use it to tip artists. They have a pretty good user base. They still struggle to really understand how to monetize from it. Another platform from the streaming landscape is Gala Music. Here there is a little bit different. It is a decentralized free streaming platform. User can purchase some tracks that they can freely listen, and they earn some music token rewards from other people listening to it. And they have a pretty good Web3 community that comes from also Gala Games, and they are trying to create a really good connection between artists and fans by doing it. But yeah, they are struggling to onboard Web2 users and music passionate from outside the Web3 environment. The last category is the marketplace one. Here the main objective is to give something to fans and try to digitize how music is being collected. The most important one year ago, was sound, and is still the most important one. They are selling certificates, proving that you were one of the first to discover new music. That's in the most pragmatic way possible. And they are struggling with metrics and traction. And indeed, we also found out that the co-founding team started also another project in the music landscape that is Vault.fm. That is like a Patreon for artists, where you can pay a monthly subscription fee to the artist you want to see, you wanna support, and you have access to their unreleased music. So definitely, this is not a good sign from them. The other really important platform is Catalog. Here they are selling certificates proving to you that you are the first one to discover music, so they're just selling one NFT for the specific track. But they started unleashing this constraint. Firstly, with Catalog Radio, that was, I really like this tool. You could listen to different tracks available on Catalog and co-sign them, meaning that you can tip the artist for $2 and be able to support them and be able also to download the track. Right now, if you go on Catalog, you see they completely decided to start over again. They are creating a new marketplace. It's still not online. These are the information that I was able to get. They're trying to create a marketplace where artists are selling music directly to fans, and they're trying to put a lot of effort in the revenue split for the different collaborators of the specific song. Another important example I want to talk about is Beatport.io. Beatport is a really relevant player in the music industry. They tried to create an electronic music marketplace where we're selling exclusive tracks that was connected to visual arts, but they haven't been publishing any artists since 1 year ago almost, so they're definitely slowing down. I want to also talk about Our Song. I really like this project. They are selling song copyrights, allowing users to be able to rework the song. So maybe they purchase a beat, they purchase they created a mashup with it, a remix, and they allow them also to distribute to streaming platform and distribute the different earnings to the different creator of a song. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. This is what have changed in 1 year. There were huge changes. I personally think some of the projects are 2 steps ahead of where we are right now. But these changes, pivots, are really helpful in order to find that connection that sometimes right now is missing from most of the projects. And now we leave the floor to Lorenzo. We're gonna talk to you about some projects that we think are really good and that also inspire us.
Thank you, Filippo. So I will show you 2 projects and 2 stories that inspired us in the last year. Not good or bad, just inspiring. So the first one, it's called Chaos and was built by Songcamp. Songcamp is an artist collective that is experimenting with blockchain technology, trying to find new ways to produce and also release music online. In 2021, they brought together 77 people, including musicians, visual artists, engineers, and many more, to create a music NFT collection during a camp of 6 weeks. The output was a huge collection of 5,000 packs, each of which contained 4 randomized music NFTs created by the collective. But the most interesting part is that they started, of course, from 45 songs, and they create 21,000 unique NFTs working on the artwork cover. That is more like NFT project, like for mention CryptoPunks or something like that. But however, I think this is really cool visually speaking, and also it's pretty interesting because they really made something valuable and collectible and special for collectors. And then the second thing is the story of the Wu-Tang Clan album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. I don't know if someone knows it. However, this is the most expensive album ever sold, twice, because in 2015, Wu-Tang Clan released it in only one physical copy, and after an auction, it was bought from the controversial entrepreneur Martin Shkreli for the astonishing price of $2 million. Then what happened, Shkreli was imprisoned and for corporate fraud, and the US government put up the album for auction again. Finally, in 2021, an art collective called Pleaser DAO acquired it for the second record price. It was about $4 million that time, so it's pretty a lot. But the cool thing is that on June this year, Pleaser DAO announced that they're going to sell an encrypted digital version of the album for the price of just $1. However, there's a catch because due to the original sale contract, the album can't be released to the public until 2103. So what they are doing, and for me it's the most interesting and exciting part, is that they are reducing the waiting time for the release by 88 seconds for every $1 spent on the album. Hopefully, I bought it, so hopefully I will listen to it, but it will be really, really difficult because to fully eliminate the delay, they need around $28 million, so it's a lot. However, this was, I think this is a really good example of taking a super exclusive real-world asset and making it more accessible and more affordable through blockchain technology. And this is something that also guided us in what we were building together in this month. But Gianmaria will explain this to you better.
Yeah, thank you, Lorenzo. Hi, everyone. Now we turn to what we developed so far. Our product, which is LIR Music, is a music marketplace using NFTs, which is focused on unreleased limited edition tracks, which you cannot find elsewhere, so they're not published on any other platform, streaming platforms or marketplaces. Furthermore, one of the other key features that we have is that we encrypt the tokenized content of our NFTs, in our case tracks, and this is something really important for us because it ensures that just token owners can access the content. And these two things are things that really differentiate us from other marketplaces like Sound. And it's really important for us because, for example, on Sound, you can just access to the IPFS link and download the track, even if you bought the NFT. And you can also find the tracks on streaming platforms and other marketplaces. So as Filippo mentioned, you're basically just buying a certificate to say to other people that you're supporting the artist and just for the sake of the NFTs itself. But what we want to do is to exploit their, oh, sorry. So I was telling that we want to exploit what we think is the real natures of NFTs, which is scarcity. So in the encryption is pretty important. And what we want to achieve through our, Okay, yeah. Through our platform, our value proposition goes towards two different directions, so for artists and for fans. For artists, we want to provide and give them the opportunity to sell something which is really unique to their fans, so engage their basically super fans, and at the same time monetize from their production, which maybe is not published or released on other platform because it's not suitable for that market or for those kind of people. At the same time, as I said, there's a value proposition for fans. They have the chance to buy something which is limited in supply, that can increase in value because of the success of the artist, and they can also support the artist that they prefer. And at the same time, of course, they can resell it, monetizing from it, and granting royalties for artists, which is something that you cannot find, for example, in the physical collecting world of music, because royalties are not granted. Now, given that we are on this stage, we usually cut off this part, but we just want to mention what's behind the curtains from a blockchain standpoint. So let's say our stack, and I'm going to talk about the thing that you're questioning. So we are developing on Polygon, POS, because of low transaction fees and the community surrounding it. We are using ERC-1155 semi-fungible tokens as standard. We have basically two different kind of smart contracts. So marketplace for handling the secondary transaction mainly, and minting smart contracts relying on lazy minting for the token issuance. Then upgradability patterns is another key point I'm gonna get back later. And lead protocol is the protocol that we use to encrypt the assets. So this actually introduces like a problem that I'm going to tell you later from a decentralization standpoint, but it's pretty cool. If you're interested in this kind of thing, you should check that out. And then ThirdWeb, worth mentioning. I don't know if you know them. They're pretty famous, of course. Blockchain as a service platform, many services. And we recently implemented their services for make smoother the user interface, basically, the user interaction. So briefly, this was our actually first architecture. Say we started from developing our own smart contracts and our own architecture. We implementing an upgradability patterns that is the beacon one to ensure that all the proxies, which are basically the smart contracts deployed by artists autonomously, can be upgraded all at once. Then actually we turn to the ThirdWeb stack, like basically using their pre-built smart contracts and cutting, say, an admin part, the admin part in which we basically, with a minting factory contract, we used to allow artists to deploy their own contracts. And so, as I mentioned before, all of the things that we are using, technologies, I don't know if you face the same thing while developing, you entrepreneurs. There's this kind of problem issue that arises, which is the decentralization degree, which means that you basically, sometimes you need to find a trade-off, a balance between decentralization, which is at the basis of blockchain, and what you're trying to do. Because, for example, from the encryption part, that we need to ensure that the exclusivity of what the people are buying introduces like a sort of centralization layer, because yes, the asset underlying is encrypted, but if you want to decrypt it, you need to pass to our platform, unless you develop your own environment, which of course is not something that anyone can do. The upgradability, which is something important because it can ensure from smart contracts a higher security level, but at the same time, you kind of tend to centralize the solution because usually the upgrades are up to the platform owner. In fact, it's something that we cut off. And at the end, embedded wallet and services like that, because they are pretty cool and useful if you want to, for example, embark Web2 users, because they don't want to have anything at all in common and to know about blockchain. But of course, they introduces another layer because they are not custodial, unless you switch to the custodial option, but it's something that usually does not happen. So basically, this, as I said, was the first product that we did, and as the number shows, it's not doing good. These numbers are pretty bad. So we face a lot of problem, interviewing people, making artists, releasing exclusively on our platform. I think that other entrepreneurs here know that doing startup, it's all about testing, iterating, and trying different things. So this thing didn't work out. But one other thing that usually happens is that you learn many things by interviewing people, by validating and testing. So the most important ones that we learn is that artists do not exploit live performance recordings. And so now, just to engage you a little bit, you few of us that are here, how many of you love going to concerts, to gigs? There is events, okay. Just, okay, 3 of us, okay, better than nothing. Yeah, the cool thing, of course I do too, and the cool thing of doing is that each concert is a unique experience, of course, from, you know, all the people, the atmosphere, also the music, it's an alternative maybe version of what you're used to listen. And this unique experience creates a memory. So the question that came to our mind is that how will it be to relive this memory? And so we try to validate the interest of people in reliving this kind of experience. And we want to create, in order to create a marketplace for live music recordings using NFTs. We validate this interest by doing some smoke tests, receiving more than 5,000 clicks with a very low cost. We already have more than 500 users interested. We don't have the platform yet, but they're interested at the early access of the platform. And above all, I don't know if you heard about, we were also able to reconcile 2 famous brothers that decided to make a reunion just for us. I don't know if you know them. Oasis. Yeah, of course you know that, and of course you know that I'm joking. But this is basically what we would like to achieve with our vision. And just to conclude, Just to conclude, I want to give you just 3 unnecessary tips that maybe you learn as well during your journey. One of the first things that we learn while doing while running our startup is that you gotta learn from the past. You gotta study the market, learn from what is working, what's not working, what has worked and what has not. It's pretty important, it's much important. And you gotta be creative and focus on a specific target. You better starting from having a bottom-up approach from a niche and then conquer the market from that. And above all, using blockchain is something that you notice by looking at many project dApps, protocols around. Using blockchain because it's necessary and not when it's not. Not just because it's trendy, but use it just when you really need it because it's a really powerful tool and not just follow the trend and the hype surrounding it. So thank you, everyone. If you have some question, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Have you seen something that you didn't know before, or not really? Yeah, of course.
Because I mean, there were a lot of problems. As I said, first of all, was convincing artists to release exclusively on our platform. And we started actually focusing on the electronic music genre because there exists already like a collecting process between producers and DJs. But we didn't get the metrics we wanted. And we realized that, for example, in that specific target and market, the resale opportunity, which was actually our main advantage with respect to other famous marketplaces like Bandcamp and Beatport, is not something that is worth for them, at least in that niche. And so we actually decided the only artists that were like willing from like with some lot of streams and at a certain like basis were just interesting for money. And we didn't want to engage and to onboard artists just interested in that because you're not creating something meaningful on a long term at least. And yeah, so we decided to pivot because that was one of the other ideas that we had, and let's try and let's see how it works.
Yeah, we were trying different tests, and the live one went really good. Like with a really small amount of money, we tried to advertise it, and we got a lot of users who decided to leave the email, help us build the platforms, giving us some suggestion on how to do it. And so that's why we decided. So for example, we try also to do some ADV, just $15 to try on the previous platform, and like the results were really bad, while concerning the live sphere are going pretty good. So yeah, we decided to let's change this number, not enough, and yeah, that's why we're trying it. Sorry.
Yeah. Sì, yeah, okay. Sì, okay. Ha chiesto come sarà il prodotto nei live. No, we are still trying to figure. Alzato il volume. To figure it out, actually. I mean, it will be, of course, a marketplace. We are talking to some event organizers, festival organizers. We need to figure out if it's possible, for example, to embed the acquisition of the token that is going to make you access to the track directly towards the ticket or not. This is something that some people say, no, it's impossible, there are taxes problems, so we are trying to figure it out. It will be, of course, the best solution, because otherwise you need the people to go to the platform afterwards. It's some kind of, it's going to cut probably some users. And, but yeah, at the end of the day, it will be basically a marketplace in which they're going to buy directly or just access. We are trying to understand, our first idea was to give access just to people that are attending the concert, because they could then eventually resell it, of course, to other people. And yeah, there are problems yeah, some issues from a copyright standpoint, like every time in music, because you need to talk to different people, different stakeholders. So this is another part that we need to understand, that we are trying figuring out also from a legal standpoint. Probably it will be something that event organizers incorporate and integrate in their contract, that they give the chance to the artist to, okay, I give the permission to, and they're gonna do that. And yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know if you have any. How will the content look like?
The idea is to have a mobile app where you can purchase for example, I don't know, Oasis, England, the specific date, and when you purchase this, you have the possibility to listen to all of the concert, or it will be divided in the different tracks that were done by the artist. So that's
yeah, we want to start from the audio recording, and then see if video or other things will be interesting also.
Yeah, we try to ask the users who already sign up to the platform what would they like, and we noticed that the audio is already pretty good. Like, they would be already satisfied with that. And it's easier for us, obviously.
Yeah, at least for starting, it's of course easier. Yeah, I guess so.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.